That's my name.
Your name is now Technical Difficulties.
No, my name is Technical Difficulties. Okay. So my sound card blew up last night, and then I fixed it, and now we're going to try that again.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Commentary's Magic stream on tonight's Sunday, March 18th. I'm Grandpa's.
I'm Technical Difficulties.
Also known as Emperor Bugle.
Big Cheese.
And I'm also Technical Difficulties, but more accurately known as Aracat.
Hey, guess what? It's almost con season.
What's con season?
The best time of the year. It's the most wonderful time of the year to spend all my money.
No.
It's 2 weeks till Babs.
Lowrider, that is an absolutely fantastic image, and I would like to steal that.
No, it is not accurate because I know exactly what went wrong.
I've seen this one before.
It's pretty good.
It's still a good image.
Very good.
Yeah, I'm not saying anything about that. I just, I've seen it. It's nice. It works.
Anyway, con season. Con season is the time of year when numerous conventions, both MLP related and otherwise, kick off, several of which have been going for many, many years now. And it's a great opportunity to not only enjoy the fandom and get together with friends or acquaintances that you might not see that often, but also to enjoy some CCG fun and madness that you might not be able to find outside of a convention setting.
And also, by the way, Season 8's about to start, next week.
So you know that's a thing.
That's also a thing, yep.
That is, in fact, a thing.
The thing is, apart from the fact that Season 8 is starting, many players, either due to travel difficulties or financial limitations or just no desire or unaware of some of the cons near them, have not had the opportunity to attend a convention before. But we've certainly seen a lot of interest, and with all kinds of great events coming up here over the next few months at conventions like BabsCon, which is the weekend of Easter, Everfree Northwest, which is the weekend of May 19th through the 21st, and other cons including Winnie City. I believe we've also got, what am I missing? Ponyville Cider Fest.
18th through the 20th, but close enough.
Sorry, 18th through the 20th. Some people might wonder, what should I do at a con? How do I have fun at these conventions? What do I do about CCG? Who is best pony?
Well, I think first off I should probably just... Who wants to see the original script for this stream?
Sure. I'd like to see the original script for this stream.
Alright, it's right here. So, Hail Hydrate, Hail Hydrate, Hail Hydrate, Hail Hydrate, Hail Hydrate. 3 resource dismissal is mandatory. Hail Hydrate, Hail Hydrate. Buy our toys! Hail Hydrate 6 to 1.
This concludes Commentaries Magic's Con Primer stream.
Pretty much.
Okay, that was a lot of information and a lot of Hail Hydrate, by the way. But let's actually talk about that. And before we dive into all this information here and some fun stories of our own, we'd like to ask that if there are any members in chat who have had an opportunity to attend any convention in the past, whether it be MLP related or gaming related, and you have any especially fun or notable stories to share, please share them in chat. We'd like to hear what your best memories of conventions have been. If we have time this evening, we'll share some of our own. With that, Aura, you want to go a little bit more into depth?
Why, yes I do. So, as the script may have implied, Hail Hydrate. No, seriously, drink water. The venue usually has water easily available, everywhere. If you have a headache or don't feel well, you're probably dehydrated. Everything we've said about resource dismissal applies to drinking water. Hail Hydrate!
Hail Hydrate. Big cheese.
3 hydrates are mandatory.
3 hydrates are mandatory.
Yes.
I think it's like 8 hydrates are mandatory, if we're counting a hydrate as a glass of water.
It depends on what you count as a hydrate.
What unit of
One.
measurement is a hydrate?
What? 1 molecule?
What about a kilohydrate?
That's a lot of water. Like a lot of water.
Yes, it is.
Anyway, second, you need to eat and sleep. The common saying is 6-2-1, and these are minimums. 6 hours of sleep, 2 meals, actual meals where you sit down and use a fork or something, not a granola bar and a 4-ounce serving of applesauce. No, this is an experience speaking. And 1 shower. Body spray does not count as a shower.
What was that last part?
Body spray does not count as a shower.
One more time.
Neither does Febreze.
So I don't remember the last time I
How
got
about
6
rain?
hours of sleep at a con.
You come close to 6 hours of sleep at a con. You might not get there exactly, but the goal is to at least aim for that. If you aim for 6
It's a
hours
good
of sleep,
goal.
it is a good goal. It's achievable. The soap fairy.
Uh-huh. The soap fairy.
The soap fairy is your friend, and you will be everyone else's friend. Do not ignore the soap fairy.
Third, if you're from out of town, there might be local attractions to visit or food to try, and those are cool. But at the same time, be wary of where you're at. It's not a great idea to go more than a block or 2 west of the convention center at BronyCon, for example. Find a friend who knows the area and or join the herd. And this leads quite neatly into our next point.
About how cons are fun and how pony cons are weird.
Yes.
But weird in a fun way. Weird in
Friends.
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 Fun.
Oh
Fun.
my god. Fun. Where's the fun? Said fun. Where's the fun at?
That's actually a.
It's in the CCG room.
The fun is in the CCG room. And
Can
nowhere else.
confirm.
I mean, there's some fun in the CCG room, but we should actually, probably talk about what's going on here.
Sure. While there are many different types of conventions, from gaming to anime to pony related to other kinds as well, too many to go into. One unique aspect of pony cons is that fans of MLP are generally kind of unusually friendly. If you're doing something that looks even remotely interesting, you'll probably have someone come over and say hi. You have the opportunity to strike up conversations, to meet random people, and make some friends for life. If you've attended multiple conventions, either in different places or at the same place over multiple years, like these long-running cons, you will tend to see the same people. Bugle, I think you had a fun story to share about this.
Oh, yeah, you want me to go into the whole thing?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, sure. So, like some of you, possibly many of you, when I got into fandom, I just kind of appreciated it. I liked the show. I didn't do terribly much else. But I had a friend. She was very into the fandom, super into it. And she asked me at some point, this would have been, I don't know, this would have been before the CCG came out. She asked me if there were any ponycons nearby that were going to happen soon. And coincidentally, there just happened to be one in about a month or so. This was called Brony Fan Fair in Austin. It had 3 years before it unfortunately closed down, but sometimes that happens with small cons. Anyway, she offered to come stay with me for a week, and we'd go to the con together. And while I had zero interest in going to the con before my friend asked me to go, I said, you know what? Sure, let's do this. It'll be interesting. And to be perfectly honest, I was blown away by this con. Now, like I said, this was a very small con, but the people there were all fantastic. Walking around and going, man, looking at those people, sure, yeah, I can tell that they are bronies. Looking at those people, I never would have guessed. But here they are, enjoying themselves at a My Little Pony convention. And this just opened my mind. It was fantastic experience.
Did you open up your eyes?
No. That didn't come out yet.
He opened up his heart.
Yes.
Aww.
Absolutely.
Aww.
Anyway, at some point, the two of us decided to check out the board game room, because, little known fact, cons like to have board game rooms, because people like to play games with each other for some reason. I'm sure none of you are familiar with this concept.
What?
Anyway, so we went there and we saw this giant pile of games on a table, and we picked one up and we're like, "This seems interesting. Let's play this." And someone else came up and started explaining the game to us. And I think he said, he had never actually tried it himself, but he had read the rules or whatever. And we thought that maybe he was just like the maintainer of the room or whatever. Turns out it just was his pile of games that he had just dropped on the table for people to play with. And after playing with him various different games throughout that day, we exchanged contact info, and he is currently one of my very best friends in the whole world.
And you never would have met him if it wasn't for going to that first MLP convention.
Exactly. I never would have met him. And my life would have been drastically different. I never would have learned about the pony card game if I had not met him, actually.
It's like there was this great destiny you had to meet each other before you were even friends. What, is that too much of a stretch?
It's pretty grown worthy.
Gotta tie it all in.
But yeah, cons are... Your first con is absolutely going to be a life-changing event. Just...
Life-changing.
Yeah, absolutely. They are different.
That's a word. That's a word for them.
Yeah. And it is very, very exciting. And I highly, highly recommend going to at least one.
Sure. My experience was similar. My first time at BabsCon in 2014, I was not ever planning on attending an MLP convention, despite the fact that, just like you, I liked the fandom and I liked the card game. At that point, it had already come out. But Enterplay said they needed volunteers. I showed up at BabsCon, worked over the course of the weekend, got the chance to meet a reviewer by the name of Silverquill, who I am still very close friends with, who we enjoy seeing every time one of these conventions comes around. And those are just the friendships that you end up, making for life. It also got me to attend significantly more conventions that year, and more the following year, and so on and so on. Heck, it's through those cons that Sim even got started.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Although our origin story is a little bit weirder and...
Yeah, maybe that would be something that would be best saved for our Q&A stream if people are curious.
Yeah. That's some interesting history there, but history that I think we need to not get into quite yet.
Now, something else you see at PonyCons different from other cons is that the fandom is still fairly small, but it's united by and devoted to a common interest. There is a real sense of community because you have at least one thing in common with every single person there. Your sheer, burning, unquenchable hatred for the waifu stealer Flash Sentry.
I was about to say.
Okay,
not where I was expecting that to go.
Not what I was expecting either.
I totally expected that.
She just knew what was up.
Yes.
See, look! Chad agrees. That and the fact that you know that there is the waifu and husbando box. And that is where they go. Anyway, there's all kinds of funny things that happen at cons. Apart from obviously making lifelong friendship, there are some amusing stories. Ara, tell us one of your favorite moments.
Okay, so I have a Queen Chrysalis cosplay, and I'm standing there getting into a heated debate with a 4-year-old girl, and I'm like, no, my name is Princess Miyamori Cadenza. And she's sitting here going, no, I don't believe you, you're Queen Chrysalis. And I even had a copy of Princess Cadence on Vacation stuck to my face. But, I'm mixing my name up. I'm like, wait, I'm Princess K. No, wait, sorry. I'm Princess Miyamori Cadenza. Yes. And that was not helping my case very well. Eventually, she argued me down to admitting that, okay, sure, fine, maybe I am actually the Changeling Queen. At which point I walk out of the room for 5 seconds. Then I walk back into the room and introduce myself as Big Macintosh. For some reason, she didn't believe that one either. And years later, I still take crap from some of my friends going, man, that little girl was just burning on you. And you were just like, I'm like, yeah, she got me good, didn't she?
Cheese, you got a good memory?
See, I think I did, but then I forgot it.
Maybe it was something fun?
You forgot
Fun.
your memory?
Yes, I always forget memories.
Like many people chanting fun?
But that's at every con.
Yes, but it's not at every con where you're doing it for seismic reasons. Ara, you want to give him a hand since he apparently needs...
Fun! Oh, how have you never experienced this? What? Okay, fine. So there's nothing quite like being in line for a panel.
I've never heard of fun,
with
no.
200 other people all bouncing and asking fun over and over again. Until the convention staff rolls up and asks everyone to quiet down or you're all going to be made to watch paint dry. As it turns out, when you have that many people all bouncing in something resembling a rhythm, you actually start causing seismic issues with the building. So
Pony fans are fun.
That and spontaneously bursting into song are basically required activities at every PonyCon. You don't necessarily need to be part of it, but somewhere, somebody asked fun, and then the thing happened.
I always enjoy finding the one person playing Lullaby for a Princess on their phone and wandering through the con and watching people just stop conversations, sing with that part until the song moves on, and then just keep going. As it was at Everfree last year. It was good times.
We also had the piano at Everfree.
We did have the piano at Everfree. And that one dude was playing We Are Number One way too much. But that was fun.
Fun?
Now,
Fun?
Fun.
No.
Fun.
Oh god, no. No, you're gonna watch paint dry.
Alright.
Do you want to watch
But
paint dry?
that's not fun at all!
Laser beam.
Pop. Alright, so we've talked about PonyCons in general, and some of the fun, obligatory fun you end up having there. But what about CCGs in particular? Many of these conventions offer great opportunities to play the game with significantly larger groups than most local player bases, at least in person, and with some cool formats. But there's definitely some tips and tricks to get the most out of these. Who wants to go over some of those?
I'll grab the first one.
Sure, go for it.
Okay, so first off, bring some extra sleeves and extra dice. You're either going to lose sleeves or dice, or you're going to break a sleeve at an inopportune time. And having a marked card in your deck is grounds for sadness. The one thing I will say here, though, is if you use glass beads as counters, consider finding something else if you're flying, because the TSA just does not like those at all.
TSA doesn't like a lot of things.
I know, but those in particular, every time I've carried some of those through security, just no.
Yeah, they show up as solid black.
Yeah, so don't bring glass beads on a plane unless you're willing to, have TSA pull through your stuff.
Cheers, what else should you bring?
Cards. to trade. I mean, along with your actual deck. Lots of other people bring cards too. And conventions are probably the best opportunity you're going to have to trade anywhere. And especially because you don't have to pay any shipping costs because, the other person's right there.
That's true. Simply having the larger player base there can be great for finding cards that are otherwise very hard to get your hands on. What about bringing extra cards for the inevitable combo o'clock?
I mean, yeah. Except for, oh, that was always good for combo clock, because you're like, oh, we need the super obscure card that everyone forgot was even a card.
That's why you bring all your cards with you to every con ever.
Silver Shill's coin.
Silver Shill's coin.
And I think we actually did have a few copies of that. But
No, we didn't. We had to scrounge to con.
No, yes, we did. I had like 2 copies in some other random deck that I had for some reason.
Oh, okay.
you never know. But yeah, there will always be things that well, it's like, I've been thinking about between these two. It's just like, just bring them both. You'll probably decide by the time the tournament starts.
Or just run 53 cards.
Just run 53 cards.
45 cards maximum, 3 resource dismissal minimum.
So
except for Skitter,
40
he gets a pass.
45 resource dismissal?
45 resource dismissal is a perfectly fine deck.
I don't think
46
that's
resource
a legal deck.
We'll have to check up on that one.
I mean, problems.
So, if you're interested in playing casual matches, in addition to some of the major tournaments or events that'll be run at cons, make sure you bring multiple decks and different archetypes. Everybody has their preferred archetype or archetypes that they like playing. But even from the perspective of someone who enjoys grindy, sloggy control, it's really hard to do that for an entire weekend.
Yeah, bringing lots of different decks.
Speak for yourself.
I've seen how drained you are at the end of those things. Don't you try and say that doesn't take a mental tax on you.
Sure, but it was worth it.
Didn't say it wasn't worth it.
Everyone needs to bring a copy of Mosh Pit so that we can hold the giant
Mosh Pit tournament.
Everyone run Mosh Pit and take forever to win tournament.
Seems great. You do want to be mindful not just of your own mental state, but also your opponent's skill level. Not everyone who attends these cons has or is going to want to play against Tier 1 decks. And some people just have certain archetypes that they hate playing against. And you know what?
Control.
That's okay. That's their preference. And if you have the ability to play something else in a casual, fun setting, and everyone can enjoy themselves, it's probably a good idea. Cons are a great time for new players to get into the game as well, because most conventions will offer free new player demos. So you may actually find numerous players participating in events later on in the con that would have just learned how to play a day or so prior. Many pick up theme decks and just go from there. One last tip before we get into the specific formats. Make sure you check the CCG schedule ahead of the convention itself, and plan your weekend so you can attend all your favorite panels and still play in tournaments that you're interested in. There are always awesome VAs and community guests and musicians and artists and all kinds of cool things to see at cons. And you want to make sure that you can catch all of the important ones or the ones that are interesting to you and still play the CCG as much as you feel like.
Are you trying to tell me that something other than CCG happens at these cons?
No, I'm trying to tell other people that something other than CCG happens at this con. So you are a lost cause, my friend.
Oh, okay.
I mean, other things do happen at the cons, like eating and sleeping, so play those two.
And hydrating.
Shower.
Hydrate.
Late Night Secret Hitler.
Late Night Secret Hitler is also okay. You will want to specifically look in the con schedule for CCG events to make sure that you can bring appropriate decks for each format. Speaking of formats, Bugle.
Yes?
What's a format?
Well, it's the thing that the pen lays on.
That was good. I appreciate that one.
All right. Is that the part of the mat that's in front compared to in back? That would be the back mat, and then there's the format?
Exactly.
Okay, I'm with you. Lowrider says, also consider having a voice actor sign one of your CCG cards. Can confirm. Having VAs sign CCG cards can be a lot of fun if you have the autograph vouchers and or money to just throw at them. Make sure to check their prices and see if they accept cash or card. Also make sure to send someone else to go stand in line for you.
That's what I did. I was busy playing in a tournament, so I couldn't go get my card signed. No, I wasn't at that con. That's what it was. Still. Yes. Anyway, formats.
Yeah, tell us about some of the formats that people might see at conventions, like, for example, BabsCon or Everfree, that they might not see at their own local player meetups.
So we've got draft. So draft is a limited format like Seal, which you might be familiar with if you've gone to any pre-releases. However, instead of being given some packs and then opening them and then those are your cards, instead you'll be given some packs. You will open them one at a time, and you will only take one card per pack. And then you pass the pack to the person next to you, and the person on the other side will give you another pack, and you'll keep doing that until you have, 48 cards?
48 cards.
48 cards. It's a little more involved than that, but that's the basic gist of it. And then from there, you build a deck with 30 cards, 5 problems, and 1 main. Mains will be provided, thankfully.
Mains and problems are usually provided. However, if you
Starting
have your
problems.
own, you should bring your own. Starting problems, yes.
Yeah. Do we know what mains and starting problems we're using for our draft this time?
Yes, we do.
It depends on which con you are at and which set of rules they're running under.
Sure.
It sometimes changes.
That's fair. So I guess listen to your TO, and they'll tell you. And if you don't know, or if you miss it, or whatever, feel free to ask. It can very well help your drafting to know whether or not Scootaloo is legal.
Generally, she shouldn't be because she's kind of OP.
Kind of, but still would influence your decisions.
In the past, we've typically done drafts using the Marks in Time pack drafters, which were a lot of fun, although the main discrepancies in power level were issues. Fairy Card's TO stands for Tournament Organizer.
Yes.
Who may or may not also be the head judge for those events.
It's the person standing up telling you not to spill your berry punch on your
all over your fancy pants.
Yes.
It's me!
Oh.
Thank you, Cheese.
Okay, you got the groan out of me. Are you happy now?
I didn't even have to do that. Yes, Fairy, that will be you. You will be TO.
Yes.
Yes, that is something we should say. As a TO, your one key responsibility, apart from making sure that people follow the rules, is to remind people not to spill their drinks on cards, and you must do so through a groan-worthy pun. This is a tradition passed down through Magic the Gathering judges for decades.
Unfortunately, there's only like one good groan-worthy pun in Pony right now.
There's like 2.
Well,
there's
get
the
to
tiny
work.
glass of water and
Get to work. Not enough puns. Anyway, because this is a limited format, you'll might want to make sure you have at least 35 empty sleeves to put your problem and draw deck in.
Yeah, and you might want to bring different sleeves for your problems than your...
Because you are, and you are likely to draw at least one card that you actually care about. So, preferably not playing without sleeves.
Correct. In fact, it's a good idea just to bring a lot of extra sleeves in general, because you don't know which cards you're going to obtain over the course of those events, and as Cheese said, there will likely be at least a couple that you really want to protect. So even if you choose not to play with them, you want to make sure that they can go somewhere safe.
Yeah, when you open that stick in that draft and you windmill slam that right in front of you, you're going to want to sleeve that.
Into a pool of water, you're going to be sad.
That too.
Yes. But at least you were hydrating. Hail hydrate.
Maybe we're just so disgusted with sticks that we're getting rid of them preemptively.
Now. We're not doing the iPhone thing here.
Anyway, so some other formats.
Formats.
So, another common limited event that you will see at cons is the team sealed event.
Meme sealed.
Don't. Dang it.
Ha, beat you.
So team sealed is
sealed.
like normal sealed, which is, again, what you do at pre-releases, except you're on a team with 2 other people. And as such, you get a lot more cards, and you try and build 3 different decks. Now, this doesn't mean that you are playing one game 3 versus 3. Each of you still plays one individual game against one other person from the other team. And the team that wins 2 games is going to be the winner of that match.
Yep. Before we move on with that, Snivian asks, in regard to draft, is draft typically all one set for all packs, or is each pack a different set? It's usually a mix. For example, for BabsCon, our draft is going to be 2 packs of Sequestria and Beyond, and 2 packs of Defenders of Equestria.
Yeah.
Which is actually a great format.
It is. It's a very, very good limited format.
Yeah. Something actually I think we forgot to bring up with regard to mains is, regardless of which mains are provided to be legal, any main that you open is also legal.
Provided
So
it's not
if you-
banned.
Right.
Not that
we
there
don't
are any
have any-
mains banned. Not yet.
Ban cards don't apply in,
don't apply to limited.
sealed or in any limited format.
Yep.
Scootaloo.
If you pull a Tantibus and a Dr. Hoobs and a Gilda
And
And
And-
Portal.
A portal. Well, no, it wasn't portal. It was
It was
Minuet.
Minuet, but that's not
and a minuet.
that's not going to happen. Minuet's in a
Then-
different.
in a different
environment.
block, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can.
But yeah, if you pull Vapor Trail, you may use Vapor Trail. That is going to be the one that is most relevant.
Although
Yes, it is.
if you pull Scootaloo and the format doesn't allow Scootaloo, well, sorry.
No.
If you pull Scootaloo,
Well,
though, I
how-
have some other questions.
Yeah, if
Yes.
you pull Scootaloo, people are going to.
If you pull Scootaloo, I'm calling Judge.
Right. Anyway, back to Team Sealed. So because it is 3 individual games, it is, even if you lose your game, that's not necessarily going to be bad, because if both your teammates win, you still win that match. So this happens a lot. A lot of teams will go 2-1.
And that's
I think
totally fine.
very rarely is it 3-0.
Yeah, very rarely. In fact, it is a common strategy for the 3 people to go, okay, we can build 2 really, really good decks and 1 okay deck.
And one that just kind of phones it in.
Yeah.
Or you just throw one of your teammates entirely under the bus. That happens too.
Yeah, just go, well, we only opened 2 trading traditions, and we know your deck needs it, but our decks need it more, so.
So what you're going to do is play Applejack Ambassador of Honesty, and you're just going to hope you flip and win a face-off.
Yes. Sometimes
This sounds a little bit from experience.
Maybe somewhat.
I have definitely been in the position where I played the bad deck of the 3.
Oh, sure.
But what's really fun is when you are playing the bad deck of the 3 and you win, it is the best feeling.
Yeah, Team Sealed is interesting. You'll get 16 packs total over a variety of different sets. And all of you will open those packs. Now, that's not 16 packs per player. That's 16 packs for your entire team. This
Yes.
means that overall, you're each going to have slightly more cards if you were to divide them exactly evenly than you would if you were playing in the draft format, but you won't have individually selected each card.
Right.
So your meaningful card pools are actually somewhat smaller. That means you have to be a little more careful with your deck building decisions. The other cool thing about Team Sealed is because you are all playing your games simultaneously, and you're all sitting next to each other across the table from your opponents, if you finish your game, or if you have a spare moment in your game and one of your teammates wants to ask you for advice, that's totally fine.
Yes.
Yeah, you generally end up putting the most experienced player in the middle.
Or the least experienced player.
Yes. If you have 2 experienced and 1 inexperienced.
Yeah.
So that they can either receive help from both players or give help to both players.
Right.
So even deciding your seating order can be an important choice to make.
Also, very, very important. Don't feel you need a team to sign up. A lot of people will sign up as groups of 2 or by themselves, and you can get if 3 individual people sign up, they can form a team and work together.
Just because you don't have a couple of friends going into the event doesn't mean you won't have 2 new ones by the end.
Right, yeah, exactly.
Aww, it's so heartwarming.
That has happened. Like people have made friends this way through Team Sealed. It's cool.
Sure, it's a good time. Also, you should absolutely force all of the critters that you possibly can and try to beat Ponka's record of, what was it, 35?
It was deep into the double digits.
Yeah, I think it was actually over 40, but I don't remember.
I think in a I forget which event that was at, but that group
It was
also
ever free.
Yeah, and they also had the Mod Mac combo.
Yes, they
which
did.
I think it went off in 1 game.
Still worth. All right, let's move on. Let's talk about another format that no one has ever heard of before and we will never speak of.
F-Stopany.
Harmony.
Lowrider asks, before we go into Harmony, Lowrider asks, how much resource removal when playing Draft or Seal? It's an interesting question. You're going to be more limited in terms of what your options for resource removal are, especially if you're not going back into EO where you have things like Special Beam Cannon and Trash. And that means that generally you'll want to try to grab any resource removal that you can within your colors. You don't necessarily need as much since you won't be facing constructed level decks and since many of the most powerful resources are going to be rare or above, but it's a good idea to include at least a couple copies. And thankfully, Brian is common. And so is Singing Barrel.
In the newer sets, it's easier to get a hold of resource dismissal. In the past, having 1 can basically be the 0 and 1 can be the difference between working and not.
Yep.
So,
oh, that's cool. Ferry, I'm glad to hear that Interplay was able to give you some EO theme decks for Winnie City. Anyway, Bugle, Harmony.
Harmony.
F-Stop.
F-Stop.
This concludes our discussion on Harmony.
it is a terrible
Gyro.
wasteland where there is nothing but F-stops and gyros. And magical misfires.
More seriously, F-Stop is no. Harmony. Harmony is the format that existed. Well, I guess it still exists before Core showed up. All non-banned cards are legal. This includes F-Stop, as you might have inferred from our banter. So, because all cards are legal in Harmony, any core deck you bring is legal. So if you feel like playing in a Harmony tournament and you did not bring a Harmony deck, you did. Your core decks are, in fact, Harmony decks. However, if you actually, are prepared for the Harmony event itself, there are a lot of decks out there that you could build. And it's not many people have been playing. Sorry. I'm not aware of many people who have been playing Harmony since Core has been announced.
There are some groups that still prefer it.
There are, absolutely.
Whether because that's just the format that they like, or because of their access to Sequestria and Beyond, or lack thereof. But yes, Core has certainly been the focus of a lot of the online community recently. But it doesn't mean that we're not still going to have Harmony events present at these cons.
Exactly.
And it's a good chance to see kind of where the game has come from and to gain a greater appreciation for Core as a format. Also because you don't have to deal with F-Stop.
You might have guessed...
You mad, bro?
I'd say I'm mad, bro, but I've got 3 copies of F-Stop in my own Harmony deck, so I'm kind of hypocritical here.
Yeah.
Yay combo.
Yay combo. Yay toolbox control.
No, see, you can't have true toxicity though.
That's
Because-
what our next format is.
Because
for.
the true toxicity is kept in our next format, which is Nightmare.
Jeez, I think you need to tell us about this one.
So Nightmare is hands down the best format ever created. Nightmare is take all of the improvements to the game that have been made and just remove them, essentially. So there's no ban list, and all of the errata,
The power level
most,
errata.
yeah. So all the power level errata, we reversed all that. So you end up with ridiculous decks that can win. We're not at turn 1 level, but we're at like turn 2, turn 3 level, or
Who
lock you out.
remembers
turn 2.
Fluttershy Guidance Counselor? Wasn't that a fun card?
No.
Well, that's too bad
Yeah.
because you're going to be seeing a lot of it in Nightmare.
At least 4 copies on the field,
Probably.
maybe more.
Note that deck building restrictions are still in effect, you
Yes.
still can only run 3 copies of one card in your deck maximum. Doesn't mean you can't also run Xerox and dip in the pool and all that madness. Or Discord Party Clasher along with Fancy Pants Respected Aristocrat, which is the best combo ever.
Yeah. I actually forget which deck won the last Babs.
Both of them tied.
Yeah.
Ah,
We did 3 rounds and had 2 undefeateds.
But
yeah.
anyway,
Snivian apparently is
So-
experienced with Flutter Guy as well.
yes.
So Nightmare is not making its return at Babs, but I believe it is making a return this year at Everfree.
That's correct. We will have a Nightmare format event at Everfree. Now, it is important to note that all of the events that we had talked about before this point, Team Sealed, Draft, of course, regular Sealed, which is just like pre-release, Harmony, Core, these are all official events that Interplay has even run themselves. Pretty certain Interplay is never going to run a Nightmare,
A Nightmare
format.
tournament, yeah.
Probably not. But now you may be sitting there and just looking at this and going, ew, why would you ever do that? So the dumb thing is, you don't do this because you go in this to win. You do this to have fun playing with fire and getting burned.
It's always a fun
Or watching
reminder.
other people play with fire.
It is always a fun reminder of days gone by.
Just
It is.
remember how broken things could be.
Normally in Nightmare format as well, it is expected that if someone can demonstrate a loop, that any of these loops can be shortcutted or even end in a concession immediately. And most of the rounds are also shorter. I think we did like 15-minute rounds.
No, we had normal time rounds, but they, in general, things ended faster.
Ah, okay.
Yes.
The expectation is that you go watch someone do something, you go, okay, yep, that's a combo loop, you got me, good game. And don't have to
Also-
actually play it out.
Also, hats off to the brave souls who participated in Nightmare last year with a just Harmony legal
Yes.
or block legal deck.
Yep. Oh, Ara, someone's rooting for Rainbow Shine in Nightmare.
She did nothing wrong.
She did
Okay,
one
fine.
thing wrong.
She popped a Phillies balloon once.
But yeah, that was that was an experience playing against these people who were just like, yeah, I realize this is Nightmare and I do not care.
Just gonna play some control.
Or aggro.
Or aggro, that's true. That's right. We did have some aggro players. And
Yeah, I
props to them.
believe Richard just brought his
Scoots.
like Hot Wing, or was it Scoots, or
It was Scoots,
it was blue aggro, yeah.
It was good times.
Sokol brought his chrysalis white yellow block deck,
That's great.
and
Well-
it got flutter locked.
Unsurprisingly.
Let's move on from that toxic cesspool.
But
That
it's
is-
a fun cesspool.
It is a fun cesspool. I'm not saying it's not.
I'm
It's a
not-
fun cesspool.
I'm
I
not
like
done
swimming in it.
I'm not done rolling around in it. Okay, fine.
Let's talk about another unofficial format, but one that is definitely run at multiple conventions, at least any convention where Commentary as Magic is present. And that is our pet project, Villain Challenge. We've talked about Villain Challenge somewhat over the last few weeks. And many of our viewers may have seen or even played in Villain Challenge before. For those of you who are not aware, Villain Challenge is a custom team-based format where 3 challengers will team up to take down one player who is running a villain.
Rawr!
Rawr.
Hold on.
There you go. Thank you. And these villain challenges often come with custom problem decks and extra cards, custom win conditions, or alternative win conditions, I should say, and special challenges for the challengers to try to overcome. Because villains don't always play fair. Sometimes you'll see something that a villain does,
sir.
or you'll look at the villain main and you'll say, wait, what?
You draw 2 cards?
You gain how much AT?
All of it.
And
Villain challenge gyro. Just turn 1 win.
And for BabsCon, which will be here on March 30th through April 1st, we have the premiere of our 3rd Villain Challenge format. This is Villain Challenge Queen Chrysalis.
Applejack.
Gee, Billy, how come your mom lets you have 2 score phases? That's great. Good idea, Goodum. I think we'll go ahead and alter some stuff. The Queen Chrysalis Villain Challenge is very exciting. It has not been publicly released yet. I say yet because... Aura? Should we press the button? Chat, what do you think? Should we press the button? We've got a big red button here on the desk. I guess we're pressing the button.
I don't know what happened there. I pressed the button.
You just don't know what went wrong. Or is that right?
All right, chat says press the button, and we did. So there you will find the rules for the Queen Chrysalis Villain Challenge, along with all the custom cards you need to play the Queen Chrysalis Villain Challenge at home with your own playgroup, or at conventions with other people. Now, you don't need to worry if you're attending one of these cons. You don't need to bring these cards. All you need to bring is a Harmony Legal deck, and you don't even need to worry about a problem deck. That's going to be provided for you. Just make sure that you follow the rules regarding restrictions on deck building. I think there are a few specific banned cards.
The restrictions are lighter than past villain challenges too, where this time dilemmas are okay.
Yep. Dilemmas are good, and we've heard the issue that several players ran into with trading traditions or ancient research not being options for their problem deck.
But my deck doesn't work if I don't get to choose my second color and have no entry for it.
Well, we got you fixed for that too. So this will be a great opportunity.
I get it.
Aha. That was terrible.
It was pretty bad. This will be a great opportunity for you to, just like in Team Sealed, potentially make some friends with players you may not have spent a lot of time with before. Just like in Team Sealed, you can either sign up with a full team of 3, or you can sign up as an individual and you will be paired as the team slots fill up. Most cons will usually have at least 1 or 2 opportunities to play in Villain Challenge 2. And usually, there's some kind of promo card for trying your best to take down the villain. Best queen.
Best queen. My queen.
Our queen. Our queen.
My queen.
Hail. Hiss.
Anyway,
those of you who have played the previous Villain Challenges, which are Villain Challenge Nightmare Moon and Villain Challenge King Sombra, don't worry, they are currently under revision and will likely be making their grand return at Everfree. Time permitting.
Time permitting. One thing to note about Villain Challenge is it does tend to take significantly longer than a normal match to play. It is 1 game, about the same length as a short tournament. So do be prepared for a slightly longer game if you choose to challenge the majesty of any of the villains.
I believe we do have a hard time limit set of 2 hours.
Thereabouts. Or if you were at the last one at Everfree, it was, hey guys, the room's closing. No, seriously,
Yep.
the hotel
we'll be
is
out soon.
closed. No, seriously, right now the host's like kicking us out.
Yeah, that was fun.
Magical.
Anyway, as we talk about these formats and link the rules for Villain Challenge, don't worry, those will also be posted on the MLP CCG subreddit, and we'll also link them on Commentaries Magic's Facebook page. We'll give you more info about that here later. I'm curious if we have any especially fun stories or fond memories from any of our viewers or people in chat right now. Or if Cheese wants to think of a memory instead of us trying to force one upon him.
If you can, because I remember I remembered one when we were discussing this earlier, but I don't remember what it is now.
First Babs.
I mean, there was that, but that was
Learning.
just where I learned to play the game.
Mokutanya?
Oh yeah, there's Mokutanya. I think that actually was the example for general con fun. Is basically every con we go to, we find one night that we can set aside to go and get a nice meal with it's more than just us. It's
with us and several friends.
Yeah, us and some friends. And those are always fun. Like always look forward to those.
Richard says that all cons forever have been a blur for him.
I mean, there is that.
Sure. Lowrider says he was introduced to the CCG at BronyCon 2017. I bet that was a lot of fun. Sonnet Scroll says she always makes some great friends at LineCon. LineCon 2018,
LineCon.
Who's ready?
Yeah, hopefully Babs isn't LineCon this year for
It's
Reg.
always LineCon. You know it is.
No, we've had good Reg. Last year was a little bit of a problem. Hopefully it's resolved.
And the year before that was a little bit of a problem, and the year before that was a little bit of a problem.
No!
Yeah, it was.
I don't know, I've been staffed, so I don't really...
BabsCon is always RegCon.
True story.
Then which was that in Colorado? RottleCon?
Running of the Leaves.
Yeah.
Reg for that was fun.
Oh yeah, what Reg? How did that go?
Exactly.
Hey, we signed up to be game room staff. Where's the game room lead? He hasn't shown up. You guys want to be the game room leads?
Well, we didn't even sign up for staff. We just showed up and was like, "Where's the game room?"
Guess that's a thing. Oh, Duke, you had the chance to meet Pack Breakers. Yeah, the Pack Breaker team is cool. They help quite a bit up at Everfree, or at least have in past years. Oh, geez, you know what we haven't talked about yet? We have not mentioned the wonder of Combo O'Clock.
Yes, Combo O'Clock. So
remember all that stuff we said about 621 and getting a decent amount of sleep?
Yeah, no sleep. So I think at like just about every major tournament, it's been the night before the tournament, looking over the deck, and it's like 3 a.m. It's like, whoa, why are we doing this? This is dumb. We can just do this instead.
And then everyone else is like, oh!
Wow.
And then people scramble to find those cards first thing in the morning.
Yeah. or we need to play test this.
Yeah, how many days or did you even know before the day before the tournament at Gen Con last year what deck you were going to be playing?
No, I think we like sat down at the hotel
at like 1:30 in the morning.
Yeah, and was like,
we're like, all right, guess we'll try this.
Try out a few. I guess I'm running this one.
Yeah, all good deck-making decisions are made at 2 o'clock in the morning, so you must choose one. Either have the most perfectly constructed deck ever, or adhere to 621. You cannot have both.
I
But
mean,
only
you
the
can
sixth
have
part.
both. You just need to not wake up before about 10 a.m.
Isn't that when the tournament starts?
That is when our tournament starts.
Oh
And
yeah,
have-
so then there's the people that whose plane lands an hour before the tournament starts.
I wish Leo was here right now.
That's we're never gonna match that one.
No, that was pretty special.
I rather hope that I never match that one. It's a little too insane for my taste.
Yeah, cons are a good time. If you have the chance to prepare in advance, to know what you're bringing, to plan your events, to attend the panels that you want and play in the tournaments that you want, and then just remember to leave some free time, have fun with friends. You'll have a great time.
Hail Hydrate.
Hail Hydrate. Snivian has the general question, for someone who is exceptionally bad at deck building, is it still acceptable to enter the core tournament, or is there an opportunity for just casual side games one should stick to in that situation? That is entirely up to you. We will never turn away, and I'd say no tournament organizer should ever turn away a player due to lack of experience from an event. They should welcome the opportunity for someone who is newer to the game to participate.
Absolutely.
Especially if you're in that position. The first couple of rounds may not be particularly fun, but the beauty of the Swiss system is, as the game goes on, you will tend to meet players with similar skill levels.
Yeah, for those unfamiliar, Swiss is a tournament structure where you aren't eliminated by losing. You will keep playing other players. This is important because it really sucks to show up to a tournament, play one game, get a bad draw, and now you're out forever. No one likes that. We don't do those.
Yeah. It's very rare to see single elimination tournaments on day one.
Yeah.
You may see a cut to top 8, which then moves to single elimination, but that's usually preceded by a day of Swiss.
Right.
Now, as for whether or not you should just try to get in some casual side games, again, entirely up to you. Most well-organized conventions are going to provide time slots where you can just have open play at the same time that demos are being run, and usually we'll have some room set aside. And if you choose to participate in that instead of playing in a constructed tournament, that's absolutely up to you. But one of the greatest things we said about the pony fandom at the beginning is people are generally exceptionally friendly. And that means that we're also generally pretty patient, even with newer players, because we'd like you to continue playing and we'd like to help you out. So if you have rules questions, or if you're unsure how something works, or if you're just trying to make a decision and need some help determining your options, most players will be happy to help you out.
Yeah.
Quiet.
It looks like you're commenting that you've played against a few people who have been frustrated with you, and that is very, very unfortunate. But I would stress that is the minority of people. Most players are like we've all been new to the game at some point, right? None of us started out as experts. That's just not possible, right?
You didn't pop into the world dropping one pace?
No.
Okay.
No. So I would say most players of the game are going to be very patient with you, even in a tournament. So I would say that if you want to participate in the tournament, we would welcome you, absolutely.
This goes especially if you're talking about Interplay tends to do these a lot at the cons that they attend. They run small 3-round tournaments rather than gigantic 6-round plus a cut tournaments. And those small tournaments, absolutely join up on those.
Yeah,
you get free stuff out of it even.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I was about to bring that up. Well, I mean, yeah, it's a good way to get some cards. It's a good way to play some games. It's a good way to see what other people are building. Like you said, you're not a good deck builder, but honestly, trial by fire is the best way to get better at that.
Yep, that's true.
That's also true.
Oh yeah, the prizes for tournaments are special, shall we say?
Very special.
50-pound salt lick special.
Now that was not for winning the tournament.
That was for taking 9th place.
That was for taking 9th place.
That was that.
Ever
That was
free?
last year.
Okay.
Yeah.
BabsCon 2, actually. Brony Camp.
Oh, was it?
Brony
Oh,
can.
Brony can. Okay.
Well,
Yeah,
so-
I'm like,
so
I
Bro-
don't remember that bad.
So Brony Can had the Brony can. The literal can. I forgot what place that was for.
Duke mentions that he has gotten frustrated with games in the past, but the frustration was more with yourself and anyone you've been playing against. You know, that's part of the reason why we started the stream with the advice of 621 and Hail Hydrate. It is amazing the impact that just making sure you've had enough to eat, had enough to drink, and had enough rest will have on your attitude in the middle of high-stress CCG games.
Hail Hydrate.
And you know what? The great thing about the con is, while cheese may only be there exactly or specifically for CCG events, if you get tired of that and you need a break, it's just a room. You can walk outside of the room and there's a whole other con to explore. Oh, look at that. There's Lowrider in Chicago right now for you.
And Winnie City, I think, too.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Blue Fairy, who's here in chat, is going to be serving as TO there. Make sure you work on your drink pun.
For extra credit, come up with a novel one. Grandpa's ones are getting kind of boring. Hee.
Charity auctions are a lot of fun.
I actually do generally end up at the charity auction.
Those are neat to see. Always like wandering the vendor hall too.
Well, yeah, you have to.
Yes, the vendor hall is the one thing that must be attended at 8 a.m. day one.
And then again,
Oh wow, yeah.
And then again at 2
BronyCon.
p.m.
BronyCon 2015 or something, sitting in line for like 3 hours, and actually ended up sitting next to somebody that plays the game. So I actually played CCG in line.
Yeah, no, we're it was great. We're sitting there waiting for something to open, and the person next to us is like, "Oh, hey, you play the CCG? Yeah." Whip out your mats and play a game, waiting for the line.
Seems good. Well, anyone have any last-minute comments or tips for enjoying cons? Hail Hydrate?
Hail Hydrate.
3 resource dismissal is mandatory. I guess we should change it to 3 resource removal is mandatory.
Yes.
You might banish them.
I guess the biggest. I don't think we've actually said this in so many words yet. The biggest and best advice that we can give you is 2 words.
Oh, well, you're gonna do the cliche.
I'm gonna do it. Yeah. Have fun.
Fun.
Fun. That is the primary reason to go to a con, in my opinion.
I'm not encouraging this chanting of fun.
No, just have fun. Not have Pinkie Pie clone fun. Just fun.
I mean, but.
With that, though, I think that will wrap up our discussion on this topic for today. We would like to give a big shout out to all of our patrons on Patreon. Thank you so much for your regular support. And if you aren't currently a patron, but you enjoy what we do, please do consider donating, because doing so will give you some awesome rewards, like the ability to vote on polls to determine what future videos we produce, a chance to share your own deck creations to be reviewed live, and even the ability to challenge members of Sim or other patrons to feature duels using some wacky rules, like we're going to showcase next week.
I wouldn't call those rules wacky, but okay.
Kind of wacky. If you have comments or questions you'd like to send our way, or if you're just interested in hearing about what we're working on for the future, like future cons, there are many ways you can stay in contact. We have our Patreon, as mentioned previously, but we also have a Facebook page, which is facebook.com/commentaryismagic. We're on Twitter at CIM_CCG. You can email us at commentaryismagicteam@gmail.com. And patrons at or above the $5 per month level get access to our Slack channel, where you can chat live with us any day, anytime. You will find someone online, whenever you are. If you're looking to watch any of our previous videos, including tournament recordings or recordings of streams like this one, you can find them on our YouTube channel, which is linked in the sidebar. Please do make sure to subscribe so we can have a channel URL that is a bit easier to remember. With that, thank you to each and every one of our viewers, both here now and watching this recording later. We are Commentary is Magic, and I am, as always, Grandpaws.
I am Emperor Bugle.
Big cheese.
Hail Hydrate!
We'll hopefully see many of you at BabsCon, Everfree, and future cons.
Bye-bye.